Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This session is being recorded. This is Sir Sibu Rahman, Ielts instructor, and I've been teaching English language in Ielts for almost 18 years. Since I started my teaching career, I have been a language teacher, and I've been Ielts instructor. And this session is especially being recorded for those students who are willing to appear in IELTS in October, by the end of October, or who are willing to appear in November. And this is 40 days IELTS session. We have especially designed, having seen the needs of the students in online sessions. And I am sure that we will deliver you what you have been looking for. And all the teachers are experienced and they have been teaching for more than 5, 10, or 15 years. Well, in today's session, I'll talk on reading sessions. Miss Sabha is with me. She will talk on writing and speaking session. Then Miss Madhya will join us at 8 o'clock and she will talk on listening sessions. We are giving you 4 sessions and listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But if you look here in this schedule, you also have a discussion session. This session does not belong to IELTS studies, but this session has especially been designed having noticed the needs of IELTS students, because you all are weak in speaking and you need 5 days to polish your spoken skills. So that's why this session is just a complimentary session for all of you, that if you take this session or if you attend this session, you can polish your spoken skills. I have told you that discussion session does not uh, link with IELTS studies. It's just a complimentary session. If you attend this session, you will polish your listening and speaking skills. And this session will be 5 days in a week with Miss Tehmeena. And Miss Sabha will take 3 days speaking classes. Miss Madhya will join you for listening at 10 o'clock. Um, Miss Sabha also conducts academic writing and academic general writing sessions. You can see here in the schedule. And I'll conduct reading sessions. I may conduct an extra class on Sunday as well, as if I find the students are struggling with the reading. So that, but officially I am available on Friday and Saturday for academic reading and general reading. We are charging only 5,000 rupees. The last date of registration is 12th of September. Alhamdulillah, we have got minimum number of students. We have achieved our target, and maximum number of students in the class 15 for the IELTS journal and 15 for IELTS academic. We don't accept more than 30 students in this session, and we only have one slot available, 9 to 11, for the IELTS preparation. So let's talk a bit on sir, how do you teach reading? लोगों को पता नहीं है कि कितने इफेक्टिवली हम आइल्स के सेशन और लैंग्वेज के सेशंस ऑनलाइन अटेंड कर सकते हैं. अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं तो हम कंडक्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि दुनिया चेंज हो रही है, हर चीज बदल रही है. और मैं रीडिंग पहले फिजिकली पढ़ाता था, तो क्लास में अगर 8 स्टूडेंट्स होते थे तो 2 स्टूडेंट्स देख पाते थे बुक के अंदर, और क्योंकि हम प्रोजेक्टर का इस्तेमाल नहीं करते थे, अगर प्रोजेक्टर लगा लेते थे वो बड़ा टाइम टेकिंग होता था हमारे लिए, मजा नहीं आता था जितना मजा हमें यहाँ पर आता है पढ़ने में, जैसे भी आपको आने वाला है. मेरे पास ये मेरी बुक्स है, मैंने कुछ कंपाइल की है ये बुक्स. अगर इन बुक्स को आप थोड़ा सा देखें, ये बुक 15 है, आइल्स की बुक है, कैम्ब्रिज की टोटल 5 बुक्स अवेलेबल है. अभी हम आपसे भी बात करेंगे, कुछ स्टूडेंट्स हैंड रेज कर रहे हैं, दे वांट टू टॉक, और शायद वो कुछ चैट्स में भी लिख रहे हो. तो अभी आप लोगों से भी हम बात करेंगे, आपका जो सवाल हो मिस सबा भी आपको जवाब देगी, मैं भी आपको जवाब दूंगा. पहले हमारी बातें सुन लें कि आपको पता चल जाए कि हाँ भाई, आइल्स की तैयारी करनी अगर ऑनलाइन है तो इज इट फिजिबल, पॉसिबल और नॉट? जब ये सेशन मैंने आप लोगों के लिए रखा है कि होगा क्या, पढ़ेंगे कैसे ऑनलाइन, स्टूडेंट्स रियली आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ इट। ये आपके सामने देखें रीडिंग का पैसेज है, इसको हमने इस तरह से डिजाइन किया है कि आपके सामने लेफ्ट साइड पे आपका रीडिंग मटेरियल होता है, राइट साइड के ऊपर आपका क्वेश्चन होता है। ये बुक कंपाइल्ड हुई हुई है, और मैंने जिस तरह से बुक्स को कंपाइल्ड किया है और भी लोगों ने किया होगा, लेकिन ये मेरी अपनी मेहनत है। अब आप ये देखें, लेफ्ट साइड के ऊपर आपको फिर दोबारा रीडिंग मटेरियल, राइट साइड पे आपके क्वेश्चंस। अभी हम एक सवाल भी सॉल्व करेंगे। ये बुक 15 टेस्ट 2 आ गया। मैंने क्या किया है कि मैंने अपने जितने भी सेक्शन 1 है उन सेक्शन 1 की एक बुक बना दी है। अगर आप ये देखें तो ये आपको सेक्शन 1 की, पैसेज 1 की पूरी बुक मिल जाएगी। आप इससे अपने आप को प्रिपेयर भी कर सकते हैं। ये टीचर्स मटेरियल है, हम आपको प्रोवाइड कर देंगे, पीडीएफ आपको मिल जाएगी। आप प्रैक्टिस करना चाहे कर लें, लेकिन मैं आपको एडवाइस करूंगा कि आप बुक 1 to 15 परचेज करें, क्योंकि हम आपको पढ़ाएंगे बुक 11 to 15। आपको जो प्रैक्टिस करनी है वो बुक 1 to 10 करनी है, 1 से लेकर 10 तक। क्योंकि हम भी आपको कितना पढ़ा देंगे, अगर मैं 5 बुक से अगर आपको लिसनिंग की तैयारी करवाई जा रही है, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको 4 टेस्ट होते हैं, 20 टेस्ट की तैयारी करवाई जाती है। 20 टेस्ट आर इनफ फॉर द प्रिपरेशन, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं कि आप 60 टेस्ट की प्रिपरेशन करें, प्रैक्टिस आप खुद भी करें ना। बुक 1 to 10 हम करवाएंगे लाइव प्रैक्टिस लिसनिंग की बुक 11 to 15, यानी 20 टेस्ट के अंदर भी 4 सेक्शंस होते हैं, यानी कि 80 सेक्शंस हो गए जो आप लाइव सुनेंगे और अपनी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। हर लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड होता है, एवरी लेक्चर इज रिकॉर्डेड एंड अपलोडेड ऑन द सेम डे ऑन गूगल क्लासरूम, and you will have the access of all lectures as long as you all are alive। वो गूगल क्लासरूम आपका होगा। आप आज अपेयर हो जाए आइल्स में या बाद में, दोबारा बाद में अपेयर होना चाह रहे हो, आप रिफ्रेश होना चाह रहे हो, यू कैन एक्सेस दैट गूगल क्लासरूम एनी टाइम। ठीक है ना, यू हैव पेड फॉर दिस, सो यू हैव द राइट टू एक्सेस इन गूगल क्लासरूम। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपका सेशन खत्म हुआ एंड देन वी रिमूव यू। अच्छा, ये रीडिंग सेशन, अब इसके मुख्तलिफ वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस है। मेरी आदत क्या है, जब मैं पढ़ा रहा होता हूँ मेरे पास थोड़े से गैजेट्स भी हैं। एक मैं सब आप कंटिन्यू कीजिएगा प्लीज, मैं अभी फिर आता हूँ।
Hello, Assalamualaikum sir. Okay, Assalamualaikum students. This is Sabah Saleh here, and I am going to teach you IELTS speaking, and IELTS writing classes one. Alright. Well, before starting the session, let me have some discussion over what actually writing is all about in IELTS. Can you all see the screen? I hope it is visible to all. Okay, in writing session we have 2 tasks, right? In IELTS you will have 60 minutes session for writing. There will be 2 tasks in writing. First is called task 1 and the other is called task 2. Now task 1 is different for both students who are going to, those who are going to appear in academics module or those who are going to appear in general training module. Okay, I'm going to discuss first academic module, what they are going to do in writing task. We have task 1 in academic, that you will get a report writing. Alright, in this task you will have 20 minutes in which you have to write a report of 150 words. Alright, you will be given an information given in the graph, table or diagram form. Alright, and you all are asked to describe the information in your own words. So let me show you what it will be what it looks like, how you are going to do it. That inshallah we will be discussing in our writing class when you join. Today I will just discuss what actually it's all about. Alright? So in this we are going to have report writing. That will be task 1. Let me show you what kind of reports you are going to have. You will be asked to describe the information in the graph, chart, table, diagram or process. So there will be different types of graph. You will have line graph, bar graph, pie chart, table, diagram, process or plan. Let me show you what is the bar graph. This is the example of bar graph. As you all can see, all academic students, it could be the plus point for general student as well, if they just want to know or about what actually academic task involve. What is academic task involve? So we do have a line graph like this. You will be asked to interpret this and describe the line graph in the form of report writing. Yes, it is bar graph, or yes, report writing is only for academic session, academic students. Okay. There's the candidate or student who has been signed in from Redmi Note. I don't know the name because name I can't see over here. So report writing is only for academic students. Okay. So we have bar line graph like this. Then we have you can see here one more example of line graph and bar graph. This is called a bar graph since it has been interpreted. So you may see some notes over here. In bar graph you have been given data. So what do we do basically? Either it's a line graph or bar graph, some sort of information is given. As you can see over here, this is the example of the graph about percentage of men and women employed in executive position in ACMUL company from July 1993 to 1994. So we do have data about men and women employed in ACMUL. Alright, and we can see how the positions of women are declining and how the position of men are increasing as they are moving from lower position to the highest one. Alright, so I will be discussing both academic as well and general training, so you don't have to worry about. First I will discuss academic one, writing task 1, and then general training. Task 2 is similar to both, right? There's no differences in essay writing. So let's first quickly discuss task 1. Now we have the graph related to just like this pie chart. So you will be getting different sort of graphs in the form of pie chart, line graph or bar graph in the test. Then we have table. Table is also given sometimes. They give you information. As here we can see, table provides information about the rental charges and salaries in the 3 areas of London. So here we can see the information is about how different areas like Notting Hill, Regent's Park and Fulham charge for different rent weekly for different sort of accommodation, right? Let's say 1 bed, 2 beds, 3 beds, and salary then required for to get accommodated in these area that one must have. It will be around 98,500, around 1 lakh, around 1 lakh 30, and around 2 lakhs. So this kind of table is also given in the exams. Okay, then we have diagram. Sometimes you are given a diagram as well in the form of life cycle of silkworm. It could be a diagram of the process of how does coffee make how is coffee actually produced, right? So in this case they tell you the entire process of coffee making. Right now we can see here the life cycle of silkworm. So you need to describe this diagram while presenting, selecting important details or main features of both. Okay, when I talk about main features, this means that you don't have to discuss each and everything. Whatever has been discussed in the diagram, you need to describe accordingly, right? This way we all go about in the diagram process. All right, sometimes what happens, you get double graphs or double diagram. Let's say you get one pie chart, all right, and then you get a bar graph as well. This is called double graphs. So double graph is also the part of writing. Okay, now the point comes, we know, or I'm telling you that what actually all the report writing and all the process is all about. But what are you going to on what basis, right, is your task is going to be assessed? That is very important in IELTS. All right, so you will be assessed on different criteria in writing. They will check your lexical resources. First is called task achievement. All right, let me share with you the screen so you can understand. This is the first part, task achievement. Task achievement for task 1 and task 2 is same. The assessment criteria I'm talking about. Okay, first you will be assessed whether you have covered all the main features of the report in your writing. ठीक है, when you come up essay, तो essay में आपको कहता है कि whatever pointers have been given, whether you have covered it not, तो वो essay writing में जाते हैं. And in report they check whether you have interpreted, described the main features of the trends of the graph or not. So if it's there 150 word, so you all are supposed to write 150 words. Here it's 250 because obviously it's related to essay 1. In task 1 as well, it's similar, but word limit is changed. All right, then they check cohesion and coherence. Coherence and cohesion, whether whatever information, either in the form of graph writing, it has proper paragraphing or not. So they check your paragraphing skills with proper lexical devices like characters we use in writing. Let's say when you describe the report, yes, letter writing will be in general training. Okay, right now I'm just discussing first academic one. Task 2, yes, task 2 is essay writing. Assessment criteria I'm discussing, it is common for all. Assessment एक ही होता है, चाहे आप रिपोर्ट राइटिंग का दे रहे हो, लेटर राइटिंग का दे रहे हो या एसे राइटिंग का हो. जिस बेसिस पे आपका एसे असेस किया जाएगा in exams, that will be same to all. Alright, then they check the lexical resource, use of vocabulary. You should use range of vocabulary in your writing, proper spelling. Alright, collocations means you're not supposed to write informal, or you could say colloquial language in writing. So words should collocate with the right words in the writing part 1. Alright, so do not use wrong words, informal language or slangs in writing task. Grammatical range and accuracy. No, not uppercase. Essay writing should not be written in the entirely capital letter. Alright, I'll tell you. Please have patience. Grammatical range and accuracy, you all are supposed to write by using different types of sentences. Let's say from simple sentence to compound and complex sentences, compound complex sentences. So it should be a combination of all types of sentences, right? So do not use only one sort of sentence. Like in simple sentence, you keep writing, and this way you expect that you may get good marks. You need to have a combination of different sentence structure, right? Okay, now let's move to the part of task 1 of general training. Now in general training, you are given, you need to use pencil. This is keep in your mind. Pencil or pen, any one thing you can use. It's up to you. If you are sure that you can write without overwriting or without making a mistake, use pen. If you're not sure that you may make errors, so use pencil. Okay. Then we have task 1 in general training 1. Now in general training, duration is same, 20 minutes, and you all are supposed to write 150 words letter. Okay, basically it's a letter writing task. You are given a situation or a problem in a situation form, and you are requested to write a letter by requesting information explaining a situation. Okay, so you all are expected to write different kinds of letter. Let's say formal, informal, and semi-formal letters. Okay, so let me show you that what sort of letters that we come across in writing task. In Ielts letter writing, task 1, just wait for a moment, I'm sharing my screen. Yes, can you see the screen at the moment?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So in writing module task 1, you are supposed to write different sorts of letter responding to the situations in the form of letter writing. So you are supposed to write formal letter, all right, semi-formal letters, and informal letter. Now all three letters are different from each other in terms of their understanding, addressing to the kind of audience you are writing to, and what sort of vocabulary, your tone style, how you need to address to the audience, that will be different. Let's say I'm just giving you a quick example right now, that in letter writing, formal letter, you are going to written to the people, to known people, but someone in authority, to who you have rarely met, but no emotional connection with them. For example, writing in a particular institution like bank, right, when you're applying first time to the college, or when you're going to write to get to have request to visit to the museum, right? So there in authority you would be writing formal letter. Semi-formal is also written to the known people, but in this case the condition is different. In this case we meet often to those people, but still don't share any emotional bonds like friends. For instance, when you writing to your immediate boss, obviously when you're working somewhere you do have a good rapport with them, right? But still you do not share any sort of emotional bonding with your immediate boss. So in that condition you neither be entirely formal nor informal. So it has to come in the category of semi-formal one. So writing to your teacher, landlord, state agent, elderly neighborhood, all these come in, all these include semi-formal. Okay. Next we have informal. Informal letter is obviously writing to someone like to your friends, family, people who you have already met, you know them very well, all right, and you wish to meet often, you share the emotional bond with these people. For example, like writing to friends and family member, all right. So this would be in letter writing. Now task 2, it's same to both candidates, either they are academic students or general training one, that is essay writing. Okay, now in this kind of writing you will be given 40 minutes, right? In 40 minutes you have to write 250-word essay on the given topic. Now essay means that you obviously, when you are given a topic, it's not like that like we usually come across or we usually understand, like you will be given a topic like, you know, a memorable cricket match. So it won't be like that. You will be given a proper situation in which which are presented with a point of view or argument or problem, right? So you will be asked to write different types of essay. Acha, in exam, okay, let me tell you one thing. In exam, you will be given one kind of essay. It's not like you have a choice. So there's no choice. Any one topic will be given. On that, you will have to write an essay on the given topic. Now, in this task, candidates need to demonstrate their ability to demonstrate or to respond appropriately in terms of content, vocabulary, and the organization of ideas. I have just discussed with you when you talk about task achievement. Okay, task achievement means whatever the topic has been given, either you have covered all the points in the asked topic or not. Okay, if you miss any point, so your marks will be deducted for that. Okay, let me share with you the example of some essay writing task as well, so you have a clear picture in your mind. What are you expecting to learn in your writing class? Yes, can you all see the screen? I hope it is visible to all.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in essay writing, as I've just discussed, that you are given a topic of general interest, and that obviously, before moving on to that, what is and what do you have to do? Let's first discuss what is an essay, right? What an essay is basically, it's basically a literary composition on a particular subject. When I talk about particular subject, this means you are given a proper topic to you. On that, you need to respond or write your opinion according to the given situation and the topic. Now, there are different types of essays that you come across when we are dealing or when we are into the writing task too. First is essay type A, right, which is called argumentative essay. In this kind of essay, you are presented an argument, all right, the topic which itself is contradictory, and you need to explore pros and cons, reasons for and against, while you support one idea. आपके एग्जाम में एक आर्गुमेंटेटिव टॉपिक आता है जिसमें आपको एक सिचुएशन दी जाएगी which has to be contradictory itself. So you will be asked, either you agree with that situation or you disagree. Let's have a look at the example right now. Studying English in an English speaking country is the best but not the only way to learn the language. Do you agree or disagree? So if you agree that one should study language in in their own country, because it's not the best way to learn a language in foreign countries, one can have multiple advantages to study English in his own country. This means that you disagree with the opinion, all right? And if you agree, so you say no, it is absolutely a necessity, it is important to study language other country. So you agree with this statement, all right, and you would develop your argument on the basis of agreement. So in argumentative writing, as we students generally have this concept or I would say misconception, that we write one-sided. But no, you are not supposed to write a one-sided essay. You need to talk about the point, your stance first, all right? And you need to develop the argument more on that, and then you will discuss the counter argument to balance your point. Okay? So are not supposed to write only one-sided, argument in essay. No, read me note. It's not like advantages and disadvantages. Like you come up with reasons. Why do you think it is? Why do you agree or why you disagree? Advantage, disadvantage is something entirely different. Okay. So when you talk about, obviously, when I come up like why should I not study, or why one should not study language in foreign country, less I disagree with. So I come up with certain reasons. Okay. That like studying in other country, yes, agree disagree both, but agree you have to, yes, yes, but not in two separate para. You need to come up first introductory part, then two body paragraphs. In that two body paragraphs you would come up either your thesis, agree or disagree, then you give the counter argument in the para 3, which is body para 3, and then conclusion. So them all must total, there must be 5 paragraphs. Okay. Now next type is called type 2, which is called discussion based essay. Now in discussion based essay, we come up, we are given a topic in which you have to discuss both sides of argument. It is also a kind of argument, but here what is different from the this one, argumentative one, that here you balance the point by keeping and discussing both points equally. All right, and let's have a look at the example. You discuss both sides and you will be asked for your opinion as well. So at the end you will come up which is better. All right, you do not take a thesis or take position in the beginning that one side is better or the other is not. You talk about both are equally important, but at the end you will discuss, I believe or I think that which one is better, by giving reasons and examples. Let's have a look at example. Some people think that government should provide free education at every level. However, some say that individuals should pay for their university education. Discuss both views and give your opinion. And this part you will discuss first. Uh, for different people, the opinions vary. Like both are important. To some extent, government should also provide free education at every level. On the other hand, to some extent, individuals should also pay for their education, university education at some level. So in first body paragraph, you will first discuss the point of government one. Okay. Then in the second body paragraph, you will discuss why you think that individuals should pay their university education with reasons. Okay, when you talk about reasons, you need to come up examples, right? And then after including examples, supporting details, then you would give conclusion where you will share your opinion that which side is better. Okay, but here you would not state that, okay, since I mentioned paragraph 3, this is the reason. You would come up with your opinion by bringing your own examples or statistic research, any supporting detail to support that. Okay, and then share that, okay, why do you think which particular uh, you know um, part is more important, like whether government should provide free education or individual should pay, why any one of these is or should be done. It's always there, like if reasons for your answer include any relevant example from your own knowledge or experience, so that you find in every essay, either it's argumentative, discussion, or problem solution. Now, type 3 in essay writing, it's called type 3 essay, which is problem and solution essay. You are given a topic which presents a situation, and you are asked to explore the reasons why it is happening, all right, what it is, and assume what will happen in the future, and suggest solution to problem if required. For example, happiness is considered very important in life. Why is it difficult to define? What factors are important in achieving happiness? So, in this kind of essay, you come up with the definition of uh, what is the definition of happiness in your own life, right? How do you consider happiness? And why this concept, why this abstract notion is difficult to define? So, you come up with reasons, okay, and what kind of factors which are involved in achieving happiness. So you talk about different factors, either spiritual path, materialism, what is more important and less important, knowing about yourself, self-realization, whether this is the first part that is more important. So there we come up different factors as a giving our opinion. Why do you think these factors are important in achieving happiness? So when you discuss what, you would come up with examples and supporting details to support your point. Last type of essay is advantage and disadvantages essay. Now I'm going to answer the question. One of the candidate asked me about that we need to discuss advantage and disadvantage. It was asked by a Redmi Note candidate here. The advantages and disadvantages essays are different from the argumentative basis. Here you are supposed to come up with clear benefits and drawbacks of a certain situation, right? So you will be discussing both parts. What are the benefits and what are the drawbacks of the stated idea in the question. For example, some countries have implemented mandatory community service programs for young people. In these programs, children aged 16 to 18 do charity work, help old people, and work with animals. So if you are asked, discuss the advantages and disadvantages and give your opinion. So you need to develop your opinion, right, by discussing benefits of like implementing mandatory community service program in schools, okay, what possible advantages children of 16 to 18, let's say teenagers, get if they are involved in voluntary work, all right, or community service one. So first you will discuss how community service can bring benefits in terms of the first benefit could be it helps to improve their communication skills, all right, they explore different people they come across, so it will expand their vision, okay. Apart from that, involving community service enhances the sense of responsibility among the youngsters at the very young age. So when they reach to their adult age and like in the career life, they develop some sort of some skills, life skills in their own life. So you can come up with different advantages with examples. Like you can see a number of teenagers who are involved in America, USA, and in China. Children that are involved since the beginning when they are quite young in different kind of charity work. So how like they are, it helps them to their mental and emotional growth as well. So you can come up or you can discuss multifarious psychological, social, and some other personal development benefits of getting involved in community service program, okay. Now when you talk about first advantages, so your division of the paragraph should be like this. First you will discuss introduction. Body para 1 discuss advantages of community service, okay. Body para 2 should discuss disadvantage of community service, all right. And body para 3 must mention which one do you think has more uh, you know uh, pointers. Let's say advantages are overweight or with we overweigh the drawbacks, or drawbacks overweigh the benefits, and then at the end you come up with conclusion. तो आप दो तरह से कर सकते हैं इस essay को. You can go for block style. Alright, block style में कि आप पहले सबके एडवांटेज डिस्कस करने एक एक करके. ठीक है, आपने एक तरफ कम्युनिटी सर्विस के एडवांटेज डिस्कस किए और साथ ही दूसरे पैराग्राफ में इसके ड्रॉबैक्स डिस्कस किए. अगर आपसे कहा जा रहा है कि भाई फ्लैट और हाउस के एडवांटेज डिसएडवांटेज डिस्कस करें, कौन सा बेहतर है आपके ख्याल से, तो उस सूरत में आप पहले हाउस के लाइक लिविंग इन अ हाउस, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ बेनिफिट्स इट कैन हैव, and then you can discuss living in a house flat, what kind of benefits it can have, and in third body paragraph you can discuss the drawbacks of both, and in last para you would come up which one is better. ठीक है, चाहे तो फिर आप पैरा वाइज कर लें, वरना साथ साथ चलें कंटेंट वाइज, जिसको हम कहते हैं एक ही पैरा में आपने उसके एडवांटेज डिस्कस किए और साथ ही आपने उसके ड्रॉबैक्स डिस्कस किए. लेकिन उस सूरत में होगा जब आपके पास दो डिफरेंट इश्यूज हैं. कम्युनिटी सर्विस में तो टॉपिक एक ही है, तो आप बॉडी पैरा 1 में एडवांटेज डिस्कस करेंगे, एंड देन इन बॉडी पैरा 2 यू विल डिस्कस disadvantages, and body para 3 you will come up your opinion, and in conclusion you would sum up the entire essay that why do you think that community service should be mandatory in school age or in school time for young people. So this is all about writing. I hope that Sir Hasib, shall I continue speaking as well?
मैं मौजूद हूँ. I'll continue with the reading.
Okay. So shall I stop right now?
Yes, thank you very much. अच्छा देखिए बेटा,
You're-
जितने लोग अभी मेरे सभा को सुन रहे थे, मैं इनके बारे में आपको बता देता हूँ. एंड बिकॉज आई हैव नोन हर सिंस 2007 और 2008. I have known
2007.
2007, right?
Yes.
2007 से मैं इनको जानता हूँ. और जब हम पढ़ाते थे तो ये उस वक्त भी माशाल्लाह पढ़ाती थी, लेकिन इनकी अच्छी बात थी, ये पढ़ती नहीं थी. बट she had done masters in English literature and linguistics at that time. अब उस वक्त सोच रहे थे मास्टर्स करने का, लेकिन ये कर चुकी थी. तो इनसे हमारी जो मुलाकात हुई थी एज अ स्टूडेंट हुई थी, लेकिन टीचर थी, पढ़ने आई थी. क्योंकि एमए इंग्लिश करने के बाद लैंग्वेज इंप्रूव नहीं होती है. हमने पहले लैंग्वेज इंप्रूव करी, फिर एमए इंग्लिश किया. लेकिन ज्यादातर मैंने देखा है टीचर्स वो पहले एमए इंग्लिश लिटरेचर और लिंग्विस्टिक्स कर लेते हैं, फिर जब वो पढ़ाने जाते हैं तो दे फेस प्रॉब्लम इन लैंग्वेज सेक्शन. सो फिर माशाल्लाह जब से ये पढ़ा भी रही है आइल्स और मुख्तलिफ इदारों में पढ़ाया कराची के, अब हम लोगों ने अपनी एक ऑनलाइन टीम बना ली है. बिकॉज आई हैड बीन अप्रोचिंग हर फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम कि बस सब आप ऑनलाइन में आए, आपको मजा आएगा पढ़ाने में. क्योंकि हम लोग फिजिकली जब पढ़ाते थे ना, तो फिजिकली पढ़ाने का एक अलग टेस्ट होता था और हमें लगता था कि हम वी विल नॉट एंजॉय. बट व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड टीचिंग ऑनलाइन, सो स्टूडेंट्स आर गिविंग अस गुड फीडबैक. और जब हम, क्योंकि हम प्रोफेशनल टीचर्स हैं, तो हम ये देखते हैं कि स्टूडेंट सीख रहा है या नहीं सीख रहा. एंड रियली द स्टूडेंट्स हैव बीन इम्प्रूविंग, क्योंकि जो हम चीज डिलीवर करना चाह रहे हैं वी कैन इजीली डिलीवर इन ऑनलाइन क्लासेस. एज फार एज द एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट्स आर कंसर्न, तो टीचर्स हु आर नॉट गुड एट आईटी स्किल्स दे फेस प्रॉब्लम्स. हमारे पास जो टीचर्स हैं, दे आर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह well trained and they have good skills in IT, so they don't face problems. अब ये मेरे पास मेरा रीडिंग है, मेरा डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया था एज आई टोल्ड यू माय ब्रदर वाज डूइंग. तो अब जैसे आज ये मैं आपसे आइल्स रीडिंग के ऊपर बात कर रहा हूँ, जितने एकेडमिक के स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हुए मेरे साथ, उनसे मेरी उनको मैं एक नसीहत करूंगा, अगर वो इस नसीहत पे अमल करना. Before you start IELTS, when you start IELTS reading, IELTS academic reading, तो बेटा जनरल वालों की रीडिंग को पहले कर लो. क्योंकि जो जनरल की रीडिंग है वो तुम्हारे लिए समझ लो वार्म अप सेशन है, वो तुम्हारी बेसिक्स है. If you score good in IELTS journal reading, so you can then score something in IELTS academic reading. मुझे ऐसा महसूस होता है कि IELTS जनरल रीडिंग इज अ पीस ऑफ केक, बहुत आसान है, हलवा है। लेकिन मसला ये, जो बच्चे जर्नल सेक्शंस में होते हैं, जो जर्नल की तरफ होते हैं, जो कर रहे होते हैं, उनके लिए यही टफ हो जाता है। इसमें मुख्तलिफ किस्म के सवाल आते हैं, आपके साथ में सॉल्व भी करूंगा। जैसे वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस अगर हम देखें तो बुक 1 के अंदर आप देखें, आपके पास ट्रू, फॉल्स और नॉट गिवन है। और फिर वो कहता है कि कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास यहाँ लिखी हुई है, इस इंफॉर्मेशन को आप यहाँ पर फाइंड आउट करें। 20 मिनट्स होते हैं आपको ये करने के लिए, यानी 14 पॉइंट्स है। हमारा हमारी कोशिश ये होती है कि हम स्टूडेंट्स को टाइम के अंदर ये सॉल्व करवाने की कोशिश करें। ये 20 मिनट्स में नहीं होगा, ये 14 मिनट्स में करना है आपको पेपर के अंदर। तो आपका टीचर भी आपको 14 मिनट्स में सॉल्व करके दिखाएगा, लेकिन जब मैं स्टार्ट लूंगा तो हो सकता है 22-25 मिनट्स ले लूं, क्योंकि एक्सप्लेनेशन भी मेरी साथ साथ चलती है। वोकैबुलरी बहुत ज्यादा इंप्रूव होती है व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग। व्हाइल रीडिंग आई विल बी गिविंग यू वोकैबुलरी। वो वोकैबुलरी कहाँ से मिलती है? जब आप रीड करेंगे तो आपको सिनोनिम्स मिलेंगे। सबसे ज्यादा जो रीडिंग के अंदर और लिसनिंग के अंदर सिनोनिम्स का गेम है, सिनोनिम्स और ऑपोजिट्स। लिसनिंग में भी बच्चा परेशान इसीलिए होता है कि लिखा हुआ वहां कुछ होता है, और जब वो बोलता है तो वो कुछ और बोलता है, लेकिन उन दोनों वर्ड्स का मीनिंग सिमिलर होता है। वहां लिखा होता है डाइड, वहां लिखता है बोलता है पास्ड अवे। अब बच्चा डाइड को फोकस करके बैठा होता है, वहां बोल के वो निकल जाता है पास अवे। सो दिस इज द वन ऑफ द थिंग विच इज यूज्ड अ लॉट। अच्छा, अगर आपने, मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि अगर आप 20 टेस्ट मेरे लाइव सेशंस में ले लें या रिकॉर्डेड सुन ले मेरे साथ, मैं कुछ आइल्स रीडिंग के सेशंस आपके साथ लाइव होंगे, मैं और उससे ज्यादा मटेरियल आपको मेरा रिकॉर्डेड भी मिलेगा, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन टीचिंग ऑनलाइन फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम। सो मेरे बहुत सारे रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस भी अवेलेबल है। तो आप प्रैक्टिस के लिए मैं आपको रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस भी दूंगा कि भाई आप इसको भी सुने। उससे आपकी वोकैबुलरी इंप्रूव होगी, और हर पैसेज में बेटा नई टेक्निक्स है। वो टेक्निक्स की तादाद अगर मैं आपसे कहूं तो दैट विल बी 100+। तो अब देखिए आपके सामने पैसेज है। अच्छा, ये पूरी वैरायटी सेक्शन 1 की अगर आप वैरायटी देखें तो ट्रू एंड फॉल्स बिल्कुल सेम है। अब आप खुद सोचो, जब मेरे साथ तो इतने सारे ट्रू एंड फॉल्स और नॉट गिवन, ये सेम, देखो सेम वैरायटी चल रही है, ट्रू फॉल्स, ये पूरी बुक खत्म हो गई आपकी 30 मिनट्स के अंदर। 20 मिनट्स के अंदर ये पैसेज करना होता है। मेरा 1 आवर का आपके साथ सेशन होगा। शुरू में हम कोशिश करेंगे 2 पैसेजेस निपटाएं, लेकिन जिस दिन मैं वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड बनाऊंगा उस दिन हम 60 मिनट्स के अंदर 3 सेक्शन 1 सॉल्व कर लेंगे, टेस्ट 1, टेस्ट 2, टेस्ट 3। अच्छा, आपके अंदर एक मैं कुछ बातें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बताता हूँ अबाउट टेस्ट। देखो बेटा, जब रीडिंग की बात करते हैं ना, तो रीडिंग के लिए आपको एक चीज अपने अंदर जज करनी है। वो क्या चीज है? एक चीज होती है, अच्छा मेरे पास जो लैपटॉप है उस पर मैं लिख सकता हूँ, तो मेरे लिए बड़ी आसानी हो जाती है लिखना। आपको एक्टिव रीडिंग की आदत डालनी है। आप लोग हो सकता है 60 मिनट्स रीड ना कर सकते हो, आपकी आंखों में अंधेरा आ जाएगा, चक्कर आ जाएंगे, आप कहेंगे सॉरी सर, मैं फोकस नहीं, फोकस मेरा आउट हो जाएगा। आप यकीन करें, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा होता है। मैं ऑनलाइन क्लासेस कभी कभार अगर ले रहा होता हूँ बैक टू बैक, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ मैं आइल्स के सेशन अपने रेगुलर लैंग्वेज क्लासेस के डेज में ना रखूँ, क्योंकि मेरी लैंग्वेज क्लासेस सुबह 10 बजे से चलती है और रात 11 बजे तक चलती है। मैं इस दरमियान आइल्स नहीं पढ़ा सकता। क्यों? बिकॉज आई कैन नॉट फोकस। वेदर यू आर अ टीचर, वेदर यू आर अ स्टूडेंट, यू हैव टू फोकस। टेक्निक, सिनोनिम्स, वोकैबुलरी, नॉलेज, ये सब एक तरफ है। फोकस नहीं होगा तो स्टूडेंट या टीचर भी नहीं पढ़ा सकता। मैंने 2-3 दफा अपने लाइव सेशन में एक्सक्यूज किया, सॉरी बेटा, कल कल करेंगे, आई कैन नॉट फोकस। अगर आपका फोकस आउट हो जाएगा, अच्छा ये फोकस किसी का 10 मिनट बाद आउट हो जाएगा, किसी का 20 मिनट बाद, किसी का 30 मिनट बाद, और कुछ लोग कहेंगे सर पैसे स्त्री के लिए तो टाइम ही नहीं बचा, तो वो समझ ही नहीं आता, आंखों में अंधेरा आ गया। तो आज से अपने अंदर ये स्टेमिना लेकर आना है। कौन सा स्टेमिना? 60 मिनट एक्टिव रीडिंग का। अपनी आंखों के सामने, ये पहली एडवाइस दे रहा हूं, पहली टेक्निक बता रहा हूं, अपनी आंखों के सामने 60 मिनट आपको इस किताब को रखना है और पढ़ना है। जमाई आना शुरू हो जाएगी, छोड़ो भाई समझ नहीं आ रहा, अंधेरा आ गया, चक्कर आ गए, ये चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए। क्यों? पेपर में आपको एक्टिव रीडिंग करनी है। एक होती है पैसिव रीडिंग। पैसिव रीडिंग, आप सफे पलट रहे होते हैं, दिमाग में कुछ नहीं आ रहा होता। सो यू हैव टू बिकम एन एक्टिव रीडर। इसी तरह से अभी मिस मधिया आ चुकी है, वो भी आपसे बात करेंगी। वो आपको बताएंगी कि यू हैव टू बी एन एक्टिव लिसनर फॉर 30 मिनट्स। क्योंकि जब आप लिसनिंग के टेस्ट में अपेयर होते हैं, आपको 30 मिनट सुनना होता है। तो मैं स्टूडेंट से यही कहता हूं कि भाई अगर आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं तो रोजाना 30 मिनट सुने। अच्छा, ये एक स्केल है, मैंने एक टीचर का एक स्केल देखा था, उसने एक बकायदा स्केल बनाया हुआ था। उसने, मैंने 40 डेज क्यों रखा है? If you practice IELTS for 40 days, you can reach up to 8 bands. लेकिन दोरानिया क्या है, देखिए उसमें कम से कम 4 आवर्स अ डे, 3 घंटे हम पढ़ा रहे हैं आपको, 8 और डिस्कशन ले, 9 से 10, 10 से 11 हमारे साथ है आप लोग। 1 घंटा आपको अपनी, 1.5 घंटा आपको प्रैक्टिस में गुजारना है। 1.5 घंटा प्रैक्टिस में कैसे? रोजाना आधा घंटा लिसनिंग, रोजाना आधा घंटा आपको राइटिंग और आधा घंटा रीडिंग। फिर कुछ दिनों बाद एक दिन रीडिंग 1 घंटा, एक दिन राइटिंग 1 घंटे। ये जो एक 60 मिनट्स है ना, इसमें आपको लिखने की भी आदत डालनी है, इसमें 60 मिनट्स रीडिंग की भी आदत डालनी है। ये कोई स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं बताता, जिसकी वजह से स्टूडेंट अमूमन अपने टेस्ट को क्लियर नहीं कर पा रहा होता। वो टेक्निक्स हर कोई चीजें बता देता है, लेकिन भाई बच्चे को आप आदी तो बनाइए 60 मिनट्स रीडिंग का। अच्छा, मैंने ये देखा है कभी कभार ऐसा भी होता है कि 60 मिनट से ज्यादा का सेशन हो गया मेरा, तो बच्चा 70 मिनट में गायब हो जाता है वहां से। क्यों? फोकस ही नहीं कर पा रहा होता। कोशिश करें, अगर आप मोबाइल फोन से पढ़ेंगे तो आपके लिए, ये देखिए बहुत आपको टेक्स्ट बहुत छोटा नजर आ रहा है, तो कोशिश करें आप टैबलेट हो, आपके पास लैपटॉप हो, या अपने बड़ी सी एलसीडी से कनेक्ट कर लें, ताकि एवरीथिंग मस्ट बी क्लियर, स्पेशली इन रीडिंग। ठीक है ना? तो अब आपके सामने ये एक मैं सेशन सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ। देखिएगा आप लोग सर किस तरह से पढ़ाते हैं, किस तरह से हम चीजों को सॉल्व करते हैं। ये दिस इज बुक 15 टेस्ट 1, और ये ट्रू एंड फॉल्स आपके सामने। ठीक है? अच्छा, अब एक बात, डोंट बिकम अ पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट। याद रखें ये एक इंटरनेशनल टेस्ट है। कुछ चीजें होती हैं ट्रू, कुछ चीजें होती है फॉल्स, और कुछ चीजें होती है नॉट गिवन। हमारे पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट्स नॉट गिवन को मानते ही नहीं है, कहते नहीं भाई इतना महंगा टेस्ट दिया, कोई ट्रू होगा कोई फॉल्स होगा। भाई कोई नॉट गिवन भी होगा। कोई नॉट गिवन क्या होता है, मैं भी आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ। देखो बेटा, आपके पास इस तरह से 2 स्टेटमेंट्स होते हैं। ठीक है? ये जब भी आप सेंटेंस को पढ़ेंगे तो आपके पास 2 बातें होती है। जरूरी नहीं है कि 2 सेंटेंस हो, 2 सेंटेंस हो अच्छी बात है, 2 स्टेटमेंट्स हो अच्छी बात है। अगर ये वाली बात और ये वाली बात दोनों अवेलेबल है, दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स, जो बात यहां लिखी हुई है, ये कहते हैं यू विल रिसीव अ कार्ड टेलिंग यू इफ एन आइटम हैज बीन लेफ्ट विद द नेबर। एक बात ये लिखी, एक बात ये लिखी। अगर ये दोनों बातें इस पैसेज में भी लिखी हुई है तो आप कहेंगे दिस इज ट्रू। लेकिन अगर आपने एक बात को पढ़ा, यू विल रिसीव अ कार्ड टेलिंग यू, और दूसरी बात नहीं है, या उससे बरक्स लिखी हुई है, कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रही है, तो आप कहेंगे फॉल्स। लेकिन ना ये वाली बात लिखी है कि यू विल रिसीव अ कार्ड टेलिंग यू, इफ एन आइटम हैज बीन लेफ्ट विद अ नेबर, ना ये वाली बात लिखी हुई है। जब दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स आपको वहां पर नहीं मिल रहे तो आप कहेंगे ये बात नॉट गिवन है। अब ये बात जब समझ आ जाती है तो उसके बाद आपको टेक्निक का पता होना चाहिए कि हाउ टू सेव योर टाइम। स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, 1 से लेकर 6 पढ़ने बैठ जाते हैं। जी नहीं, आपको ये बात पता होनी चाहिए कि किस सवाल को पूरा पढ़ना है और किस सवाल में चीजों को कहां तक पढ़ना है। हमेशा ट्रू एंड फॉल्स के अंदर 2 स्टेटमेंट्स को पढ़ लिया करें, एंड देन स्टार्ट योर रीडिंग। Why are you wasting your time in reading 3, 4, 5 and 6 जब वो अभी दिमाग में बैठेगा ही नहीं? पहले आप इस बात को ढूंढ लें, फिर इस बात पर आ जाइए, फिर इस बात पर आ जाइए. कहता है you will receive a card telling you if an item has been left with the neighbor. एक बात हमने पढ़ ली. It may be quicker to get a refund than a replacement for a non-delivered item. कहता है it may be quicker to get a refund. अच्छा अब देखो, ऐसा जनरली नहीं होता कि तुम्हारी दो बातें हो और दोनों बातें नॉट गिवन हो. तो हम कहते हैं चलो एहतियातन इसको सरसरी तौर पे पढ़ लो. अगर ऐसा हुआ कि दोनों नॉट गिवन तो तुम तो पढ़ते हुए चले जाओगे, तुम्हें कोई बात ही नहीं मिलेगी, तीसरी बात भी नहीं होगी भी तो तुम्हें नजर नहीं आएगी क्योंकि तुमने तीसरे स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ा ही नहीं. कहते हैं यू आर इंटाइटल्ड टू अ रिफंड इफ आइटम फेल्स टू अराइव बाय अ सर्टेन टाइम. ठीक है ना, यू आर इंटाइटल्ड टू रिफंड, यू आर इंटाइटल्ड टू रिफंड. दीज आर सम कीवर्ड्स. अब आइए, you will receive a card telling you if the item has been left with a neighbor. Now I'll start reading. If something you have ordered has not arrived, you should call. अच्छा देखो, मैं whenever I read in the same way. Don't need to panic. कोई जल्दबाजी नहीं है. जितनी देर में तुम ये रीड करोगे, मैं बता रहा हूँ, इतनी जिस स्पीड से मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ, इसी स्पीड से आपको पैसेज को पढ़ना है. बस एक गलती नहीं करनी है. डू नॉट रीड अगेन एंड अगेन. सर दो दफा, अब मैं दो दफा भी नहीं पढ़ना है, सिर्फ एक दफा पढ़ना है. सर एक दफा में तो समझ ही नहीं आएगा. तो बेटा फिर तुम्हारा एक दफा में नहीं, 10-15 दफा में आइल्स निकलेगा. जो टेक्निक है उसको फॉलो करना है. यू हैव टू रीड वंस. आपके पास इतना टाइम नहीं है कि आप उसको दोबारा रीड करें, ढूंढते ही रह जाए. जो मिले उस पे बस उसका जवाब लगाइए, आगे चलिए भाई. वरना आपके 40 में से 4 भी नहीं आने वाले अगर आप एक ही के ऊपर बैठे रहेंगे. पैनिक नहीं होना है, सबसे पहले परेशान नहीं होना है. If something you have ordered has not arrived, you should contact the seller to find out where it is. It is their legal responsibility to make sure the item is delivered to you. They should chase the delivery company and let you know what has happened to your item. If your item was not delivered to the location you agreed. अब यहां पर देखो, इसने ये जो वर्ड इस्तेमाल किया है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ इट वॉज लेफ्ट विद योर नेबर, ये बात हुई नहीं है, उसने तो एक मिसाल दी है. इफ इट वॉज लेफ्ट विद योर नेबर विदाउट योर कंसेंट, इट इज द सेलर्स लीगल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू सॉर्ट आउट द इश्यू. क्या तुम लोगों को कहीं पर भी कार्ड की बात नजर आई? आपके पास गैजेट्स अवेलेबल है, आप क्रॉस का निशान लगा सकते हैं, आपके पास ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है. आपको कहीं पर भी, वैसे जब हमारे लाइव सेशंस होते हैं, हम म्यूट ऑल को हटा देते हैं, आप बीच में अपने जवाब जमा करवा सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं. ये सेमिनार है, बीच में इंटरप्शन ना हो, इसलिए भी आप लोग म्यूट ऑल पर है. वरना जनरली ऐसा हमारा सिस्टम नहीं होता. आप अपना सवाल हैंड रेस करें और अपनी बात जमा करा दें, चैट में लिख दें. अमूमन स्टूडेंट्स चैट में लिखते हैं. नहीं है, आपने कहा सर यू विल, कार्ड की तो कोई बात ही नहीं हो रही है दूर दूर तक. क्या ऐसा लिखा है इफ एन आइटम हैज बीन लेफ्ट विद द नेबर? हाँ सर, ये वाली बात है, इफ इट वाज लेफ्ट विद योर नेबर. बेटा वो उसने एग्जाम्पल एक फर्जी बात की है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो ये वाली बात भी हुई नहीं है. यू विल रिसीव अ कार्ड इफ एन आइटम हैज बीन लेफ्ट विद द नेबर. तो अब बेटा आपका जवाब क्या होगा? इट्स ऑब्वियसली नॉट गिवन. ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है सर. If the item does not turn up, you are legally entitled to replacement or refund. अच्छा, ये जो बात आपने जब सेंटेंस को पढ़ा तो आपने कहा सर यहाँ लिखा है entitled, आपको एक फैमिली वर्ड मिला, बिल्कुल डिट्टो वही वर्ड लिखकर दे दिया. कहते हैं you are entitled to refund. अच्छा, कहते हैं if the item does not turn up, you are legally entitled to refund or replacement. कहते हैं you are entitled to refund if the item fails to arrive by a certain time. कहते हैं you can ask for your money back if you don't receive within 30 days. Within 30 days or by a certain time. ये वाली बात भी है. If item fails to arrive, कहता है you can ask for your money back if you don't receive. देखो, this is negative. If you don't receive or fails, this is also negative. If you don't receive, if the item fails to arrive, both have the same meanings. अब आपने कहा सर हाँ ये वाली बात तो बिल्कुल सही हो रही है, दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली सर ट्रू, बिल्कुल आपने सही कहा, लेकिन सर व्हाट अबाउट नंबर 2? अबे भाई क्यों टेंशन ले रहे हो, नहीं मिला तो नॉट गिवन लिख दो ना। अच्छा लेकिन सर इतने पैसे दिए होने ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए था ना सर, या तो ट्रू होता या फॉल्स होता, भाई दिस इज योर पेपर। वो बात है या नहीं है, जबरदस्ती की बात निकाल रहे हैं आप। There is a time limit when using the chargeback scheme for debit card payment. अब देखिएगा आप, there is a time limit when using the chargeback scheme for debit card payment. कहता है you might also be able to get your money back through the bank or payment provider. This depends on how you paid. If you pay by debit card, if you paid by debit card, family word मिल गया जो आप, ठीक है ना, debit card. Your contact your bank and say what you want to use the chargeback scheme दिया गया, ठीक है ना। कहता है there is a time limit when using, कहता है if the bank agrees they can ask the seller's bank to refund the money to your account. Many bank staff don't know about this scheme, so you might need to speak to a supervisor or manager. You should do it within 120 days of when you paid. There is a time limit. 120 days is a time limit. Time limit 120, within 120 days. This is a time limit. This is absolutely true. आ गई बात समझ। कहता है you can use the chargeback scheme for a credit card payment for more than, this is a very important word, more than, less than, ये true and false में बड़े important होता है। कहते हैं सवाल को समझ लो, you can use the chargeback scheme for a credit payment more than, if you paid by credit card and the item cost less than £100, you should contact your credit card company and say you want to use the chargeback scheme. अब आप मुझे बताइए कि अब आपका जवाब क्या होगा। सर वहां मोर देन था, वो कहते हैं लेस देन हो, वो कहते हैं मोर देन। इट इज एब्सोल्युटली फॉल्स। लेकिन इसको देखो फॉल्स क्यों किया, यू कैन यूज द चार्जबैक स्कीम फॉर अ क्रेडिट कार्ड पेमेंट, ये बात सही है, आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं, लेकिन लेस देन, तो ये दिस इज अ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन, आधी बात सही है और आधी बात गलत हो गई, सो देन योर आंसर गोज फॉल्स, ठीक है ना। People's Online Resolution Center has a good reputation for efficiency. Okay. कहते हैं if you paid by PayPal, use PayPal Online Resolution Center to report your dispute. You must do it within 120 days. कहीं पर ऐसी कोई पॉजिटिव बात देखिए कि इनकी रेपुटेशन बहुत अच्छी है, बड़ा अच्छा काम करते हैं, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है, that's not given. This is how we teach reading session online. The students, they are not aware of this online learning, especially IELTS and English language, कि कैसे मुमकिन है कि हम रीडिंग को समझ सकेंगे। मैं कहता हूँ ये तो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा हो गया है, क्योंकि जब मैं पहले फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाता था तो बेचारी मतलब पर्दा करती थी तो कहती थी हाँ सर, मैं देखो बेटा वो सेकंड पैराग्राफ में देखो 5वीं लाइन में, सर नजर नहीं आ रहा, हाँ अच्छा हाँ सर 1 2 3 4 5, फिर जाकर वो 5, अब देखो बेटा ये वाला स्टेटमेंट, बहुत बोलना पड़ता था। यहाँ तो जहां मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ, मेरा ये आपको स्पॉटलाइट नजर आ जाएगी, ये स्पॉटलाइट साथ साथ चलती रहेगी, ठीक है ना, उसके बाद मेरा ये पेन आपको नजर आएगा। सो इट्स ऑल वेरी सिंपल एंड इट्स रियली अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स। मैं ज्यादा वक्त आपका ले चुका हूँ, अब मैं मिस मधिया, शी विल नाउ टॉक ऑन लिसनिंग सेशंस, and then Miss Sabha, once again she also conducts your speaking session. वो आपसे स्पीकिंग में थोड़ी मुख्तसर सी बात करेंगी। 9 बजे तक का हमारे पास टाइम है, we have only 50 minutes left in this session, and Miss Nadia, please you may continue, you are a co-host.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're all good. My name is Madhya and I will be the instructor for your IELTS listening module. Okay, so I hope you're all good and hope you're all motivated to do the IELTS, right? And we will be here for 40 days inshallah. So inshallah after 40 days you are good to go to give your IELTS. Okay, so IELTS listening is basically same for IELTS academic and IELTS journal training. Okay, it's basically a 40 minutes test, 30 minutes for your listening, like the audio will be playing for the 30 minutes and 10 minutes will be given to you to transfer your questions to the answer sheets. So basically IELTS listening is divided in 4 sections. Okay, so 4 sections, and these 4 sections are categorized on the basis of their easiness and hardness. For example, section 1 will be the most easiest, then section 2 will be a bit harder, section 3 will be harder, and then section 4 will be the hardest. So by reaching section 4, a lot of you will be drained out. आपकी energy काफी हद तक drained out हो चुकी होती है, but don't get yourself distracted. ठीक है, this is the first point you always have to keep in your mind. Don't and never get yourself distracted, because once you are distracted, the audio will be playing on and you will not be focused on it. You will not be paying attention towards what they are talking about. So first thing you have to be is you have to be attentive. Okay, just imagine yourself, just open up your imaginations and concentrate on what they are talking about. Obviously the question paper is right in front of you. You can see the questions. First some time will be given to you to read the questions. Okay, and then the audio will be playing. So I will guide you throughout the session and I will be here for your guidance. So don't get yourself stressed out first. Okay, so basically IELTS listening is about, right, it's about your concentration. आपकी जितनी concentration अच्छी होगी, आपका जितना एक distract ना होने की ability होगी आपके अंदर, so you will be able to do it inshallah very well, and you will be able to get 8 points inshallah. So basically we will start with the IELTS section 1. Okay, section 1 मैं आपको थोड़ा सा guide कर देती हूँ. First thing you have to always keep in your mind, first read the instructions. जो भी instructions आपको given होंगी, read it carefully. For example, in this, can you all, I hope you will all be seeing the screen. So first just read the instructions. If they are saying to you that don't write no more than 3 words, then do not write more than 3 words. Okay, and if they're like in this screen, you can see that write 1 word and or a number. So you have to write, you have to give the answer in 1 word or a number. For example, the topic is about bank side recruitment agency. So you will be having a rough idea like what the audio will be playing about. ठीक है, audio जिस बारे में play होगी, so obviously that will be the topic. So you just start imagining that the audio that is going to play will be about that bank side recruitment agency. Recruitment means when you start hire new people to the company, so that is recruitment. Okay, and obviously make sure you have you are able to do the synonyms. Okay, synonyms is very important in this thing, as Sir Hasib told you already in the reading thing. With the reading, listening is all obviously listening is all about that. Okay, synonyms, vocabulary, how you will build up your vocabulary. When you start reading, your vocabulary will be improved and you will be able to do the synonyms thing. Synonyms is like similar meaning words. Okay, so that you will be like you have to be pro in doing the synonyms, क्योंकि synonyms mostly जब audio play हो रही होती है, so you are just looking at one word. ठीक है, जरूरी नहीं होता कि वो one word ही वो बोलें. For example, recruitment अगर आप देख रहे होंगे, recruitment आप उस पे गौर करेंगे, अभी recruitment आएगा, so that sometimes don't happen. Sometimes they just use the synonym for that word, and you have to be like make sure that this is the answer to that question. Okay, so for synonym and for vocabulary improvement, you have to read like you have to improve your reading. Okay, and how you can improve your reading? You can start reading newspapers, you can start reading different books. So, and for listening, how you can improve your listening skills? You can just listen to the news that is coming on the TV. So you just listen to that for half an hour per day is enough for you to improve your listening skills.
अच्छा, मैं
Okay,
तुमको एक
and then
बात और भी बता दें कि
जी sir.
जब ये लिसनिंग कर रहे होंगे, क्योंकि असल में स्टूडेंट्स को ये बात भी जानने की जरूरत है कि हम लिसनिंग कैसे कर रहे होंगे। जैसे अभी ये 1 to 5 है, अभी इनको एक छोटा सा हम डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशन देते हैं कि आपकी जब क्लास चल रही होती है तो उस वक्त आप लिसनिंग जो करवाती हैं वो किस तरह से। तो ये 1 2 3 4 5 तमाम बच्चे अगर आपके पास पेपर है तो रेडी कर लें। तो फिर अभी बस आपको गाइड कर रही है कि आपको लिखना क्या है। अच्छा,
Yes
कितना
sir.
टाइम होगा ये सब इनको बता दें, फिर मैं
बिल्कुल.
ऑडियो प्ले करूंगा एंड देन वी विल चेक द
सर मैं थोड़ी सी बस इनको टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स पहले दे दूं, फिर उसके बाद आई एम कमिंग टुवर्ड्स द ऑडियो. Okay. Okay, so students, just for listening, how you can improve your listening skills, you can just listen to the news, and sometimes you have to be careful about the accent that is going to be playing in the audio. Sometimes the accent is British accent, sometimes the accent is American accent. So how you can improve your these accents? For British accent, you can just listen to BBC News. Okay, so BBC News is the one of the most important thing you have to listen to this to improve your British accent. ठीक है, British accent sometimes आपको काफी difficult लग रहा होता है, कुछ word formation उसमें बहुत different होती हैं, like sometimes you are not able to understand what they are exactly saying. So for that you have to improve your listening skills. And for American accent you can just switch on to CNN. So that is, these are the two most important news channels. You can just listen to them and improve your listening skills. Okay, now coming towards this, this is book 15, test 1, and this is about the bank side recruitment agency. So first you will be given few minutes to not a few minutes, just 1 minute for you to read the questions. Okay, so basically the audio is divided into two parts. ठीक है, सेक्शन 1 में ऑडियो 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड होगी. फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर क्वेश्चन 1 to 10, फर्स्ट यू विल बी गिवन अ टाइम टू रीड क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 to 5. Okay, then the audio will be playing and then you have to solve these questions. So first I want you to keep your notebook and a pen with you so that when the audio will be playing you are ready to write the answers on the blanks. Okay, then after playing this part, the speaker will be saying to you to read question number 6 to question number 10. Okay, let me read question number 1 to 5 for you. Okay, so it's bankside recruitment agency, so the audio will be playing about that. And you have to make sure कि आप थोड़े से टाइम में ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन गेन कर लें. और वो किस तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन आप गेन कर सकते हैं, जस्ट लुक एट द मेन थिंग दैट इज रिटन इन द क्वेश्चन. For example, first question has been solved for you, like address of agency, they have given you the address 497 East Side Docklands. Okay, so that has been done for you. Now move towards question number 1, and that is name of the agent. So Becky, and you have to write the surname or maybe the second half of that name. ठीक है, first half नाम का given है, you have to write the second part. Okay, so Becky, maybe whatever the name is. And sometimes when the spellings are not understandable, so the speaker illustrate the spellings. Okay, for example, Becky, आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा कि उसने क्या कहा है, तो she will explain like it's BECKY. ठीक है, so हर लेटर को वो announce करेगी. So you have to be like very attentive to write each and every letter. Okay, then comes phone number, they have already written it. And one thing I will make you clear about this, American accent and British accent, there is some difference between numbers. Okay, for in American accent they call it as 0, and in British accent they call it as O. See, ठीक है, so आपने confuse नहीं होना कि O क्या है और 0 क्या है. सही है. So phone number is, in British accent they will be doing it as 07866510333. Okay, so now come to question number 2, that is best to call her in the dash, or it is the time, it is about the time. ठीक है, for एक और चीज मैं यहाँ पे clear कर दूं, sometimes question में you just have to write the noun. ठीक है? And sometimes you have to write an adjective. So for that you have to be careful कि आपकी sentence formation किस तरफ जा रही है. यहाँ पे either noun आएगा या फिर adjective आएगा, ठीक है? So ये चीज आपको बहुत ज्यादा reading के बाद पता चलती है, ठीक है? Once you are
Ielts
good in
15.
reading. Okay. So did you play the audio?
Published by Cambridge University Press and Cambridge Assessment English 2020. Test 1. This is the Ielts listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. Part 1. You will hear a woman phoning a friend to get information about a job agency. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Now you are given some time to read question number 1 to 5.
Sell me this pen. Start. Okay, this.
And make sure you have your pen and paper with you. So just start writing the answers.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello, William. This is Amber. You said to phone if I wanted to get more information about the job agency you mentioned. Is now a good time?
Hi, Amber. Yes, fine. So the agency I was talking about is called Bankside. They're based in Docklands. I can tell you the address now, 497 East Side.
Okay, thanks. So is there anyone in particular I should speak to there?
The agent I always deal with is called Becky Jameson.
Let me write that down. Becky
Jameson. Jameson.
Do you have her direct line?
Yes, it's in my contacts somewhere. Right, here we are. 07866 510 333. I wouldn't call her until the afternoon if I were you. She's always really busy in the morning trying to fill last-minute vacancies. She's really helpful and friendly, so I'm sure it would be worth getting in touch with her for an informal chat.
It's mainly clerical and admin jobs they deal with, isn't it?
That's right. I know you're hoping to find a full-time job in the media eventually, but Becky mostly recruits temporary staff for the finance sector, which will look good on your CV and generally pays better too.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried because I don't have much office experience.
I wouldn't worry. They'll probably start you as a receptionist or something like that. So what's important for that kind of job isn't so much having business skills or knowing lots of different computer systems. It's communication that really matters. So you'd be fine there. And you'll pick up office skills really quickly on the job. It's not that complicated.
Okay, good. So how long do people generally need temporary staff for? It would be great if I could get something lasting at least a month.
That shouldn't be too difficult. But you're more likely to be offered something for a week at first, which might get extended. It's unusual to be sent somewhere for just a day or two.
Right. I've heard the pay isn't too bad. Better than working in a shop or a restaurant.
Oh, yes, definitely. The hourly rate is about £10, 11 if you're lucky.
That's pretty good. I was only expecting to get £8 or £9 an hour.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, You have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
अच्छा, अब ये आप आपके सामने जो प्ले किया, अब आप अपना स्कोर चेक करें कि आपने क्या स्कोर किया, ठीक है ना, और शेयर भी कीजिएगा चैट के अंदर कि आपका स्कोर क्या आया।
Yes, please do share.
मैं
And one thing I will make sure कि जब proper nouns आते हैं किसी भी word में, so you have to write the first letter as capital. ठीक है? So make sure you do it. That really matters. And one more thing, listening is not only about listening. सिर्फ listening के साथ listening नहीं हो रही होती. It includes all the three skills except speaking. ठीक है? Reading भी include होती है, listening भी include होती है, और writing भी. So these all three skills matters a lot.
yes, please share your score. 4, very good. Isma,
Yes, very good.
3,
3,
not bad. 5, very good. Malia,
5, very good.
very good,
3.
very good. ठीक है,
Very nice, not bad. ठीक है, very good. Very impressive.
आप लोगों को लिसनिंग के बारे में समझ आ गई है कि लिसनिंग भी पॉसिबल है। 0 इट डज नॉट मैटर, अभी आपने शुरू नहीं किया है। अब आपको ये बात समझ आ गई है कि लिसनिंग, असल में देखिए, मैं आज का सेशन रखने का मकसद यही है कि आप लोगों को ये बात भी पता चले कि लिसनिंग भी पॉसिबल है आइल्स लिसनिंग ऑनलाइन सेशंस के अंदर, ठीक है। अब हम बात करते हैं स्पीकिंग की। मिस सबा इज अवेलेबल विद अस एंड शी अभी बड़ा जबरदस्त इन्होंने स्पीकिंग का मॉक भी रखा था। मैंने आप सबको जो है वो 2 घंटे का एक मॉक की रिकॉर्डिंग भी भेजी थी, वो मैं सबा ने कंडक्ट की थी, और उसके बाद उन स्टूडेंट्स के स्कोर्स भी बता दिए थे कि आपके 4 बैंड्स आ रहे हैं, आपके 5.5 आ रहे हैं, आपके 6 आ रहे हैं, आपके 7.5 आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि हर चीज का एक स्केल गिवन है। तो मैं सबा के पास जब वो राइटिंग को एक्सेस करती है आपकी, जब आपकी वो स्पीकिंग को एनालाइज करती है, तो आपको बकायदा वो स्केल में रख के करती है कि अच्छा ये इतनी गलतियां, इतना बोला, यहाँ पर ये मिस्टेक, तो आपके बैंड्स ये बनेंगे। फिर जब स्कोर आता है ना, तो फिर वो बच्चा कहता है अल्लाह ये स्कोर है। और एक बात बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट करूंगा आखिर में आप सबसे, मिस सबा प्लीज। थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस मदिहा। नाउ मिस
Yeah,
सबा।
you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Sir Haseeb. This is Sabah Swalezia. Welcome to all again. Well, moving on to the part of speaking, which is the most important, I would say, although all skills are important. Yet, this is the part of your IELTS test. So, what does it involve when you talk about speaking test? Well, speaking test is similar to, it's same to all of these students, either you are academic students or general training one. Okay, so in this case, all academic and general training student test is same along with the pattern. Okay.
Are you sharing any slide related to
Sir, I'm going to. Just give me a minute. I'm going to share my slides. I'm going to share my slides as well. Yes, I hope everyone can see the slides. Is it visible? Okay. Now, what is expecting in a speaking test? Speaking test, it longs for 11 to 14 minutes. All right. And am I audible now?
Yes, now you are audible.
Okay. Okay. Speaking test longs for, and it takes 11 to 14 minutes test, including 3 parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. Okay, I will first discuss part 1. What do we have in part 1 session? What are you going to expect in part 1? In part 1, you, an examiner, basically it's the introduction session. It is called introduction and interview session. So here, examiner introduces him or herself to the candidate and asks questions to candidate about general topic and interest. All right. For example, when you first appear in speaking test, is my voice clear now? Because some of the students, they have some problems in listening.
बेटा हैंड्स भी लगाकर सुने तो आपको आवाज क्लियर आएगी.
Okay. Thank you. Let me note. Right. So in speaking part 1, you are asked questions about general topics or interest. So the first part, speaking part 1, is divided into further 2 parts. First, examiner introduces himself or herself. Let's say I am taking a test. I am an examiner. So first I would introduce myself, like good evening everyone. This is Sabah Solazia. May I know your full name, please? So the very first question they ask to the candidate, their full name. Now here you have to be careful that usually students, they come up like, my full name is, let's say, like keeping myself as a part of candidate place as well. All right. So if I say my full name is Sabah Solazia, so I would say you should first give your first name and then tell your full name, right? Like in a very formal way. This is Sabah and my full name is Sabah Solehazia. So the very first and the foremost question they ask you about your full name. Then later they check your ID by taking, is like, can I see your ID? And they check it, they confirm it, and then they ask, where are you from? They ask you about your hometown, where are you from? So you would tell about that you're from Karachi. If you're from Lahore or any another city appearing in the test, you will tell them that which city are you from. Okay. In part 1, mostly they ask about candidates' hometown. Okay. Now hometown means the place where you were born and you were brought up, right? So whatever place you were born and you have been brought up, you have to describe your hometown first. Later they will ask you about that, tell me something about your hometown, you will describe. Then they ask some general question like about you, do you work or study? And then you tell that if you work or study any one thing, in that case you have to tell the examiner that I work or I study. Now here I would like to share a very important part which usually candidates, they make mistake in IELTS tests. They think that only answering in short responses is enough to score good bands, right? But I would say it's entirely an inappropriate approach if you answer the examiner in short responses. Let's say if they ask, do you work? Yes, I work. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Try to answer the examiner in a full, complete sentence. If you work, so you say, yes, I work. But then further they ask, where do you work? I work at the company. I work at social organization. I work at school. If you are a student, then you can talk about, I study in university. I study in college. So whatever the, either you work or study, you need to answer accordingly. Sometimes it happens that, like, if there are housewives, so they usually, ask me, Miss, let's say, if we neither study nor work, in that case, what should we, answer in the test? So in that case, I would suggest that you don't have to be realistic all the time in the test, because you don't have to be realistic, because the very next question they ask related to the previous question. Okay? So you may say that, like, I study or I work. You have to be creative even in part 1 as well. Okay, but if you say, I neither work nor study, I am a housewife, or I stay in house, manage home and other responsibilities, so the very next question they ask, like, what are your favorite subjects? So again, you wouldn't be able to answer, because previously you said that I am a housewife. So try to answer whatever the question is asked in the question. Okay. Then they come up with the topic about a general topic of interest, question related to that. Let's say friends. They sometimes ask about dancing. So there are general topic interest questions they ask you in the test, and there are minimum 4 questions which they ask you in part 1. Like we can see example over here. Right now we have questions related to the topic friends. The first question, are your friends mostly your age or different ages? And the like later they ask the reason why. So the first and foremost important tip in the test, whenever you answer your question, answer by looking or by by hearing the or listening to the question carefully. All right, listen to the question carefully first. What actually the examiner has asked you. If they ask you a question in a present tense, you need to answer in the same tense. Most of the time students, they make mistakes in tenses when they are answering. All right, so you should say that like, my friends are mostly my age because I share the similar interest. We share the similar interest with each other, and I think that having a same age group friend can have a better or good time with each other. We share our problems easily. So I mostly have friends of my age. So choose anyone, either age or different ages. In case if you would like to add both, so you can say like mostly of my ages, but sometimes I may have friendship with some different age group friend, and then come up with reasons. Okay. Next question, do you usually see your friends during the week or at weekends? So here you would answer, I usually see my friends during the weeks because normal days, since I am a student, I study, I don't get much time because I usually engage in my studies and day-to-day routine. So I hardly get time to see my friends during the a week. So I usually see them at the weekend. If you choose that you see them at the weekend, so give reasons accordingly. And if you say that you see your friend during the week, so answer your questions accordingly. Let's say you would say like, I have friendship with mostly with my classmates. So I usually see them during the week while we are studying together, or we have sometimes in the break time. So on daily basis we are meeting each other. Okay. So in this case, you need to be Redmi Note, I would like to reply over here on your response that you can reply, I mean, in both the cases, but in that case, come up with the reason, proper reason at the end. All right. The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together? Now, see here, what tense the question has been asked by the examiner. Here, they ask you the question in the past tense. Okay. So, your response should be, I still remember I saw my friends last week on Friday when we had a meeting with our group about the student uh, discipline committee. So we had a good time together. We discussed with each other about the rules of the college, discipline committee. So we met there each other, and we really had a good time and productive time while spending time with each other. So whatever day, time when you met your friend, so you need to write that. You need to speak about that. Reply. Acha, like somewhere where you have to give opinion. So come up with the phrases, in my opinion, I think, all right? So use proper phrases when you are framing your question. Try not to use a similar sort of sentence structure. Let's say started with subject verb agreement. Try to use, start with ing form as well. Use appropriate or good vocabulary in your spoken when you are speaking. Avoid using slangs because slangs are not at all accepted in IELTS exam. Like most of the students, they come up with the slangs word, I wanna join, all right, I'm gonna, all right. So wanna, gonna, all these are uh, you know um, entirely unacceptable in the IELTS test. So not do not use any kind of slangs during the IELTS speaking test. Okay. Now, what is basically assessed over here? In introduction and interview, you focus on the ability, like this particular test, assess your ability, how well you can communicate opinion and information on everyday topics. Okay? So examiner will assess your English for day-to-day communication. All right, obviously when you go abroad, those who are applying to immigrant, all right, those who are even applying to student visa, there you need to communicate with other people in foreign land. So obviously it's not like that, like you should come up only while speaking your own language, but you must be able to communicate with opinion and day to day everyday topic information. So that basically they focus and they assess your ability in the test. Okay, part 2. Now part 2, it's called individual long term and cue card. This is a one-way topic, right? You are given a verbal prompt and you are asked by the examiner to talk on the particular topic for 2 minutes. You can see here the topic I have given here about describe a song or piece of music you like. Now here, since it is called individual long term, so examiner may not intervene while asking you questions. You are given a topic and you are given a time for a minute to prepare on the topic, and then you will be timed for 2 minutes while you are speaking and examiner will be listening to you. Now this part has the most important assessment, cohesion and coherence. As you can see here, there are subparts of the prompt. Like talking about or describing a song or piece of music, you should say what the song or music is, what kind of song or music it is, where you first heard it, all right, and explain why you like it. You can see there are different tenses. The first question is in past tense, sorry, present tense. The second question is again in present tense. Third is in past tense, and the last is in again in present tense. So you need to switch from one tense to another while you are speaking. So part 2 is not like that, like you are just answering the question, but you need to describe a topic in a talk form as you are talking to the examiner. All right. So yes, as it is like where, what, when, and where. What, when, and where, and why as well as SMAS. Okay, ISMA. So it includes all 4 different WH questions which are involved, which are included. I will share at the end example one by one in the form of a demonstration so you can understand. Let's first understand the part, how we move on, and then I will come up with the demonstration part as well. Okay. Now, part 2 basically assess your 2 different, the part. Now, how well you can speak with a proper grammar and proper fluency on the topic with ability to speak at length on the given topic. क्या आप 2 मिनट में तमाम पॉइंट्स कवर कर सकते हैं? Alright? Or will you take time to cover all the topics within 2 minutes? Right? So they check your ability to cover the topic on at length within the required time. अच्छा, यहाँ क्या होता है, बच्चे कहते हैं मिस कौन से पार्ट में हम ज़्यादा बोलें, किस पे हम कम बोलें. आपको अपनी स्पीकिंग को इस तरह से मैनेज करना होता है कि आप पार्ट 1, पॉइंट 1, 2 और 3 पे सिर्फ 1 मिनट से ज़्यादा ना बात करें. 1 मिनिमम, मैक्सिमम 1 मिनट और लेट्स से 30 सेकेंड्स, जिसमें आपका इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट भी इंक्लूड है. ठीक है. अब जो आपके रिमेनिंग 30 सेकेंड्स हैं, दैट यू शुड स्पेंड बाय प्रोलॉन्गिंग और or by talking in detail about the reason why you like it. ओके आप 2 मिनट में सारे पॉइंट्स भी कवर करें. ये नहीं होगा आपने पहले कह दिया, आपने पहले कहाँ सुना था, ये बात आप पहले कह रहे हैं, फिर आप कह रहे हैं कि भाई व्हाट काइंड ऑफ म्यूजिक और सॉन्ग इट इज, इट शुड नॉट बी लाइक दैट. देयर मस्ट बी कोहेजन एंड कोहेरेंस इन योर स्पोकन. ओके, पार्ट 3 इज रिलेटेड टू इंडिविजुअल लॉन्ग टर्म. पार्ट 3 में क्या होता है, पार्ट 3 में वो आपको चेक करते हैं, इट्स कॉल्ड टू वेज डिस्कशन. इंडिविजुअल लॉन्ग टर्म तो अभी हमने बात की पार्ट 2 में. पार्ट 3 देन दे व्हेन यू फिनिश योर पार्ट 2 राउंड, the examiner asks you 1 or 2 question about which is called a round of question related to the topic, and then they will be moved, or you and examiner will be moved to the next portion, which is two-way discussion slot, which takes around 4 to 5 minutes. Now here in this part 3, you and examiner will engage in a discussion of more abstract issue and concept which are thematically linked to the topic prompt in part 2. जैसे अभी हमने देखा, हमने क्या किया है, हमने बात की म्यूजिक के हवाले से. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आप देखिए, वी हैव टॉपिक अबाउट डिस्क्राइब अ सॉन्ग और पीस ऑफ म्यूजिक. पार्ट 3 में आपसे पूछा जाएगा अबाउट म्यूजिक एंड यंग पीपल. Now obviously part 3 it's called two-way discussion, so you are involved in more opinion and based discussion where there's an argument, they share, they ask you do you agree, disagree, all right. So all questions are related to sharing your opinions and generally what do you think about the particular topic. So most of the question when you are involved in argument with the, it's not like argument like you start debating on that, but they ask your opinion. What do you think? Do you think it happens? All right. Like here, they ask you, what do you think influence a young person's taste in music? So topic will be related to music. Theme remains same, but it will be more in a more complicated or discussion-based topics will be there. First question. Achha, there are 6 questions. First 3 related to the one topic, and the another will have 3 more questions related to the theme one, like music and young people and music and society. The first question we have here, what kind of music are popular with young people in your country? Obviously you would talk about like there are different kinds of musics which are popular or which are renowned or among the which are quite famous, young people like to prefer in my country. For instance, rock, pop music, right, classical. These are the very common and popular kind of music which young people love to listen. All right. Now, you must have noticed that I am giving examples. So don't forget to give examples when you are answering questions. अगर कहें kind of music, तो आप कहेंगे भाई कौन किस तरह का, आप ये नहीं कहें कि there are different kinds of music. What kind of? Come up with example. For instance, such as, like, all right. For instance, pop, right? Rock music, right? Jazz, or you would talk about classical. So whatever the types of musics are popular, you need to elaborate in your answer. Next question, what do you think influence a young person's taste in music? So you would say, as far as music is concerned, I think that poetry is the main taste that generally young person they develop, or the influences that young person taste in music. If youngsters they find the poetry or the theme of the the song, they like it and they really admire it, so they really love to listen to that particular music, right? अगर आपसे कहने कि क्या इन्फ्लुएंस करता है, तो आप कह सकते हैं कि भाई पोइट्री, समटाइम इट इज़ the voice of the singer as well, that influences a lot when person particularly chooses any kind of music. How has technology affected the kind of music popular with young people? So you may say, like, as far as technology is concerned, I think that technology has, it's quite affected a lot positively the kind of popular music that young people listen. For example, now in the modern era, There have been a lot of new musical instruments with electric guitars, all right, keyboards, and violin, which are involved to enhance the quality of music while listening. So I think that different kinds of music which is involved in singing, that affected a lot to the uh, affected the kind of popular music with young people. For example, if I give you example of the Coke Studio. Now, Coke Studio in Pakistan, it has become quite famous, right? And here we could see multiple singers. They are singing on bringing a fusion of different music while recreating a new song from the older one. So they come up different kind of flutes, musical instrument like flute, tabla, or guitar, electrical guitar. So with the help of that fusion, they create a new sort of music with the help of these technological devices which they use, right? अब आप जब टेक्नोलॉजी के affected की बात करें तो आप यहाँ पे बताएंगे कि भाई there have been number guitars and the other things which are included when it comes to music side. You can give example of Coke Studio. You can give multiple examples from the your day-to-day scenario. So because since it's a talk about the music and young people, so here you may answer according to the country situation as well and in general too. So there's no hard and fast rule. Now next topic is music and society. Tell me about any traditional music in your culture. So here you would say that like in my country, Kawali is one of the traditional, music. So classical when we talk about, so Kawali and the classical music is the traditional music in my culture. So there, we singers or we can say vocalists, they come up or they sing Kawali like with harmonium, and it's quite popular in my culture. They have different themes, different songs. Sometimes Sufi poetry is sung in the form of Qawwali, and which is quite famous in my culture. How important is it for culture to have musical tradition? So here you would give a connection or relationship between music and culture, how these go together. So you talk about, in my opinion, that musical tradition influences a culture in many aspects. All right. Firstly, music plays a vital or important role in humans' life. Therefore, it is essential for our culture to have musical tradition. Secondly, it's a pride to be the civilians of the country which has musical tradition. We can see a number of examples if we talk about here in Pakistan as well. Classical music is the form of music which Pakistan is actually famous for, like ghazal or the other part. Lastly, traditional music is a good way to remind the residents of their own country's culture as well, which needs to be preserved and upgraded with the passage of time. So I spoke about 3 pointers by using connectors. जब मैंने कहा क्यों ज़रूरी है, how important, कितना important है, तो मैंने कहा भाई first of all it basically uh, plays a vital role when you talk about musical tradition. Culture or music tradition, it goes together side by side. Second, I talked about the pride for civilian. So we have multiple pointers when you describe how something is important culture wise. Why do you think countries have national anthems or songs? So here you would say, in my opinion, there are several reasons for having national anthem or songs, like for countries having national anthems and songs. First of all, having national anthems is a traditional custom for each independent nations. In many special internal and external ceremony, the national anthem will be played to represent each country, which helps distinguish one from the others. Secondly, singing national anthems is a pride of each citizen. Each national song can contain some outstanding meaning which represents the patriotism towards that country as well. Therefore, national anthems will probably be preserved in the future. Okay? So when you come up to talk about, when you talk about the national anthem, you will discuss why it's there in the country to have national anthems. Uh, Before I wind up the session, I would like you to have understand the assessment part as well, because since I have been speaking about speaking test, what are the tips that you can take and you should have to get 8 bands, or I would say 8.5 bands, when you are appearing in the test? First of all, confidence is the key to success. You must be confident whatever you are speaking. Okay? Because be confident, and having an eye contact with the examiner when you are speaking. Try not to have like that. You can use fillers, right? But try not to have that a lot of that we usually do during the speaking test. Try to fill up your these gaps with the of, let me come back to the point what I'm stating, with some good fillers in your spoken. Okay, pronunciation also plays a key role in delivering your point across to the examiner. If you pronounce a word incorrectly, all right, I wouldn't say that you try to copy someone. Try to develop the near accent, the general accent which is understandable and meet to the standard of the standard pronunciation of British and American. Whatever accent you are taking or you're adopting, all right, try to have to be natural in the test, so you may not get confused while you are speaking in about any topic, right? There are 4 criteria on which you are assessed in the exam. First is fluency and coherence. It is very important how clear and structured is your speech. As we discussed in part 2, part 2 में हमने देखा कि we connect sentences by linking word cohesive devices. You should know how you extend your answer, add all the relevant details. जैसे मैंने part 3 में भी examples दिए आप लोगों को, ठीक है? I use connector first, second. I use certain phrases while I was sharing my opinion, giving my opinion. Okay? So we have lexical resource, and then the last 2 parts cohesion and coherence, pronunciation, and grammatical range and accuracy. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm ending up a session here. I hope it is quite informative to all of you, and we will meet inshallah when you join us in our IELTS preparatory classes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sabha. It was very nice listening to you. And students who have been listening to me, to Ms. Madhya and Ms. Sabha, thank you so very much. And we are closing our admission tomorrow. And to be very honest, we don't accept admissions during the classes. When we start on Monday, we will not accept any other admission in any case. And if students insist, they will join on their own responsibility, because we want everyone to be a part of live session. If you miss your session, you get a recorded session as well, as all the sessions will be recorded as well as, and they will be uploaded on the same day in Google Classroom. And we will give you the access of Google Classroom for your lifetime. Okay? Thank you so very much. Inshallah, see you on Monday. And I will, I'm just removing those 2 groups which I have made, and I will make 2 new groups on WhatsApp for IELTS Journal and IELTS Academic. And I will add all those students who have paid their fee. If I don't add, please do let me know, because I am sometimes miss those students who have paid the fee. तो अब मैं अभी 2 ग्रुप्स क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ, एक आइल्स जर्नल का और एक आइल्स एकेडमिक का। जो स्टूडेंट्स पे कर चुके हैं मैं उनको ऐड कर दूंगा, कोई किसी को ऐड ना करूँ तो प्लीज मुझे इन्फॉर्म कर दीजिएगा विद इन एन आवर, सो आई विल ऐड यू। इंशाल्लाह सी यू ऑन मंडे इन योर फर्स्ट क्लास। अच्छा, मंडे को डिस्कशन सेशन अटेंड नहीं करना आपको, मंडे को आप डायरेक्ट आप आइएगा अपनी आइल्स की क्लास में। पहले एक हफ्ता आइल्स को फोकस कर लें, 9 to 11 का सेशन लें, फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फिर आप डिस्कशन सेशन में चले जाइएगा। ठीक है बेटा, अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।